Hey folks, Bungus Frank here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to create your very own fuel system in Trailmakers. But first, we got to cover some basics. So before we get started, I want to cover every block that we will be using within this build. Number one, starting with the A&D gate. The A&D gate will not set an output unless every single input programmed to it is activated. As you can see here, no output with only one activated, but with two, we're good to go. Next, we have the XOR gate. The XOR gate will set an output if either of the inputs are active, but not if both are on at the same time. Up next, we have the NOR gate. The NOR gate will send an output unless it receives an input of any kind. Pretty neat. Up next, we have the comparison logic gate. The comparison logic gate can be programmed in many ways. In this case, I have it set to the less than function, and I'm switching it over to the greater than. The inputs coming in are going to be at 1.0, and the threshold of activation is at 0.9, so anything over that is going to send a positive output. The responsibility of the comparison block is essentially to measure the inputs and decide whether it is less than, greater than, or equal to its initial threshold in order to send out an output. Here I'm using an example of the comparison block on its less than feature. The threshold is set to 99 and the accumulators go up to 100. Once they reach 100, we no longer have an output going out because it is no longer less than 99. I'm going to go ahead and switch this over to the greater than function. And so now if the input from the accumulators is over 99 or greater than 99, we will then send out an output to our other gates. Alrighty, now that we covered all of the basics and we've gone over everything today, let's go ahead and build our very own fuel system. For this build, you will need 3 accumulators, 2 NOR gates, 2 AND gates, 1 comparison block, and an XOR gate. We're going to go ahead and start with the accumulators. Start with 1 accumulator, copy it over, and that way we have 2 to start with. For the accumulator settings, we're going to go ahead and bump the minimum up to 0 and the maximum to 10. These accumulators will be utilized to control thrust in the forward and reverse directions. Go ahead and start by selecting one of the accumulators and setting it to the input that you would like to be your forward direction. In this case, for my controller, it'll be right trigger. Now go ahead and grab the second accumulator and select the button and input that you would like to be reversed. On both of these accumulators, you're going to be programming your inputs to the positive node. And in order to customize this build, what you can do is set your scale from 1 all the way up to 10 if you would like to have instant throttling. Leaving it at the scale of 1 is going to gradually increase the throttle as you hold it down and then maintain that speed as you go forward. This could be applied to both forward and reverse. Next, go ahead and grab your third and final accumulator and place it anywhere on the build. We are then going to program both of the original accumulators to the newest one. I went ahead and added the jerry can decal to this accumulator just to indicate that this is going to be in fact our fuel gauge. With this accumulator, we're going to adjust the minimum up to 0. And our maximum, we're going to leave it at 100. Now, the scale for this accumulator can be adjusted to however you'd like. If you'd like your gas to not last as long, you go ahead and slide the scale up higher, and if you'd like it to last longer, you slide it down lower. The only thing is, just make sure you don't go into the negatives. The next 2 blocks we will be adding are both of our NOR logic gates. We're going to slap both of them on the back of these accumulators here. These NOR gates are going to be responsible for resetting our throttles back to 0 as long as there are no inputs being currently activated. Go ahead and select one of your NOR logic gates and program it to the accumulator for forward thrust. Whichever button you use to program the forward thrust, go ahead and use the same one here. And in this case, we're going to set the output in the NOR gates to negative. Do the same with the other NOR logic gate, except use your reverse controls. I went ahead and color-coded the accumulators for myself to know that green means forward and red means reverse. Next on the list, go ahead and add your comparison logic gate. To start off with programming, go ahead and select our fuel gauge and plug it into the comparison logic gate. Essentially, our comparison gate is going to be responsible for dictating whether or not we've run out of fuel. Go ahead and set your threshold to 99.90 and keep it toggled the comparison mode to less than. The comparison logic gate is going to have a constant output of 1 until our threshold of the accumulator reaches 100, which essentially means we run out of gas. Next, go ahead and add our 2 AND gates. I'm going to go ahead and color one for green for forward and the other one red for reverse. Go ahead and head over to our original accumulator. We're going to program it to our color-coded logic gate. Select the green accumulator, program it to the green AND gate. Take the red accumulator and program it to the red AND gate. Next, we're going to take our comparison logic gate and program it to each of the A and D logic gates over here. And moving on to our last and final block that we will need is one XOR logic gate. Go ahead and set the output to this to negative with 0 inputs attributed to it, then select the red and logic gate and program it to the XOR gate. And you have officially built your very own fuel system. Now that we have our very own fuel system created, you get to assign it to whatever thrust block you would like to use. And in this case, we're just going to go ahead and use an engine. Now that I have my engine in place, I'm going to go ahead and remove the default inputs for it. I'm then going to go ahead and program the green and logic gate into our engine and the XOR logic gate into the engine as well. Next, all we have to do is add some wheels, and we're also going to go ahead and attach a seat to help us on our journey. Alright, now that we have our accompanied seat, let's go ahead and test it and see how it does. And for visual's sake, what I'm going to do is move our gas gauge so it's visible so we can see it fully draining as we drive. And with this fuel system, you will burn gasoline whether you're driving forward or in reverse. If you'd like to speed up the amount of gas usage, go ahead and up the scale on your accumulator for your gas gauge, and this will allow you to burn fuel more efficiently. Alright, now that we have a higher gas burn rate, let's go ahead and give it a test. And just like that, I am pushing forward and reverse, and as you can see, we are slowly slowing down. If I hop back into the build, I still cannot move forward or backwards with any inputs that I am pressing. And as a bonus, what I'd like to do is if you guys would like to have a way to refuel your system, all you need to do is select a distance sensor, go ahead and grab the distance sensor and attach it to your build, set the output scale to -1, and then program it into your fuel gauge. Whenever our vehicle runs out of gas, you can go ahead and hop out and just refuel. And you're good to go. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed today's tutorial. Hopefully it was straightforward enough for you. If there's any improvements I can make in the tutorial quality for you guys overall, please let me know in the comments below. And if you did enjoy, please be sure to like, it always helps. And subscribe if you guys would like more content like this in the future. I've been Fungus Rake. Take it easy.